Really? That's really what y'all want to do? Really? That's really what y'all talking about doing? Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic, and today we gonna talk some football. Houston Texan football. Now, I've been tagged, I've been texted, I've been called, I've been tweeted at, I've been DM'd, I've been commenting on my videos and on regular posts talking about Sammy Watkins to the Houston Texans. And what I think about the Texans adding Sammy Watkins, and he could be a possible replacement for Will Fuller, and then you can cut Will Fuller and you can pick up Sammy Watkins and just man, the Clemson boys back together and whoop. Listen here. I'm gonna be honest right now. I'm not on board with that at all. Like, like for one, like my main thing is that you don't have to touch the offense. Like, there's nothing wrong with the offense as is. The problem that you need to fix is on defense. It's on the other side of football. You need to fix defense, the secondary, and the pass rush. That's what you need to fix from a personnel standpoint. We already know what's going on with the offense. It has nothing to do with the personnel. It's the philosophy. I've made plenty of videos about that. So it ain't got nothing to do with the personnel. But since y'all want to talk about it, because, Hop sent out the tweet and then Deshaun commented and retweeted and stuff like that. We're going to get into that in a minute. But, dog, like, no, like, no, like I know people in Houston are upset and more so frustrated with Will Fuller, but that's more so of Will Fuller being on the football team than you looking on the outside end. Because the issue with Will Fuller is his injury. Sammy Watkins is injured, would be injured as well, but not even to that. Sammy Watkins is a huge underachiever. Like, remember, this dude was the 4th overall pick in the 2014 draft. So he was drafted to be Buffalo's #1 receiver. And he's only had one legitimate season. Like his second year in the league, he had over 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. But he was the #1 receiver then. After that, he gets traded to LA. LA uses him for a year, and then they cut him and then sent a first-round pick to the Patriots for Brandon Cooks. It didn't give Brandon Cook a contract. So then he spent the last 2 years in Kansas City. Now, the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes. They have Andy Reid and designing the offensive system. Patrick Mahomes won the MVP by throwing 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. Do you know what Sammy Watkins did in that year? He only had 500 yards and 3 touchdowns. Where's the production? Your quarterback throws for 5,000 yards, you're going to get 500 yards. Your quarterback throws for over 50 touchdowns. With those 50 touchdowns, you can only count for 3. And then this past season, he had 600 yards, but still only had 3 touchdowns. And the 3 touchdowns he got happened week 1. He didn't score a touchdown the rest of the year. Now, I know Will Fuller had only 3 touchdowns this year, and they all came in one game against the Falcons. But we can also blame a lot of what's going on with the Texas offense on the offensive coaching staff. Not really the personnel, because you may know this. Duke is not being utilized the way he's supposed to be utilized, and Sammy Watkins, not Sammy Watkins, but Kenny Stills not utilized the way he want to be utilized. So why on earth would Sammy Watkins want to leave Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid winning Super Bowls to come to Houston and be coached by Bill O'Brien? I get the Deshaun Watson factor, and I'm not blaming Hop for sending out the tweet with him and Sammy Watkins in their college uniforms talking about a reunion, and I don't even blame, because that's his boy. They went to school together. I'm pretty sure they want to be running mates again, and I don't blame Deshaun Watson retweeting it with sunglasses over there, because he's a Clemson guy. Even though he didn't play with Sammy at Clemson, but during his whole recruiting process, while he was being recruited by Clemson, he's watching Hop, he's watching Sammy Watkins at Clemson. So I'm pretty sure he know the guys. He got the feeling. Yeah, of course. Hey, it's a brotherhood. I feel I want all my Clemson guys around me. I get all this. I'm not blaming them at all. But nah, and this whole notion that they the same guy, outside of them both being receivers and they both have injury issues, that's the only thing that's the same. And then they both had dreadlocks at one point and cut their hair. That's pretty much it. I give this Sammy Watkins a better catcher. I give he has a better catcher rate. He's more sure-handed. I give you that. But outside the Chief game, since we've gotten Deshaun Watson, Will Fuller's cleaned up his catching issues a lot. Will Fuller is way faster than Kenny Stills. Like Will Fuller is game changing fast. Sammy Watkins is not a home run hitter. If you insert Sammy Watkins on this team right now, he's the fourth fastest receiver. Fuller's faster, Stills is faster, and Kiki is faster. So he's behind Kiki and in front of Hop. So he doesn't add speed to the lineup. You already have three guys in the lineup faster than him, so he doesn't add speed. I know, like I said, people are frustrated with Will Fuller, and I get it. But I've been harping and saying this for a long time. I'm cool with having Fuller for 10 games of the regular season if he's healthy for the playoffs. Because the thing about Fuller, this is the thing about Fuller that people need to understand. Not only does he have not just because he has game-changing speed, because he can run the full route tree, which means that he does not lose his speed. It's a lot of guys who probably even faster than Fuller. But they only run one route, and that's the go route. Any other route that they run, their speed tails off because they're not good. They're route running. Fuller runs every single route as fast as he can. So because of that, when Fuller's on the field, you have to account for that. That's the reason why the offense has I think it's a 7 points and like almost 100 yards in production difference when Fuller's on the field and when Fuller's off the field. Because the DBs and the defensive coordinators cannot cover and guard Hop the same way when Fuller's off the field. When Fuller's off the field, they can do whatever they want to try to rotate coverage to Hop. When you insert Fuller on that field, you can't do that. You try to cover Hop the same way, Fuller's running right past whoever's back in the secondary for a touchdown. Or Kenny Stills running right past whoever. You cannot cover these guys the exact same way when Fuller's on the field because he has game-breaking, game-changing speed. That's something you can't coach. That's something you can't get. I know people talking about, well, go out and get Roby Anderson. Roby Anderson's fast, but he can't run. One Fuller's fast, and then he also can't run the route tree. He's not as good of a route runner than Fuller. So even though he has speed, you put him in the lineup, he doesn't run the same. You put him in the lineup, his routes are not as crisp. So therefore, unless he's running a go route, you can still rotate coverage and dictate coverage to Hop the way you normally can because he doesn't break the game open like Fuller does. That's the difference. So, in saying that, you don't have to mess with the offense. You don't. And we talking about a guy in Sammy Watkins who was a 4th round pick who Buffalo ain't want. Went to L.A. L.A. ain't want. They cut. He found a home in Kansas City, and they got all those weapons galore. And they'll probably lose him not because of his talent. They'll lose him more likely because of Patrick Mahomes if he takes that $40 million. And from all signs, he's willing not to take that 40 because he wants to keep winning championships, apparently. So he might take an even small amount to make sure that Sammy Watkins gets a say on the team. But that's the only reason why they would lose him. But what guy do you know is a 4th overall pick that bounce around in be on his 5th team or 4th team, be on his 4th team in his 7th season? That's not very productive. And if you go look at his level of production outside the 1 year that he was the number 1 receiver in Buffalo when you caught 1,000 yards, he hasn't been productive. And he's missed games just like Will Fuller. So you bring him here, he's going to miss, the chances are that he might miss games as well. So really, what are you doing? And you talk about cutting Will Fuller to save $10 million, you're more likely to give him $10 million. So you're really not doing much. You might as well stick with Will Fuller. I think Will Fuller is the one. He's the better receiver. I think Kenny Stills is the better receiver than Sammy Watkins. I think Sammy's better than Kiki. I'll take Sammy over Kiki, but Sammy ain't coming here to be the 3rd or the 4th option. He's the 3rd option in Kansas City. He's not gonna. If Sammy leaves, somebody's gonna give him some money. So if Sammy gets cut, somebody's going to offer him a deal because that's how NFL works. Somebody's going to offer him a big contract, and he's going to take that big contract. Now, unless he wants to take a pay cut to come to Houston, but if that's the case, he'll take a pay cut to stay in Kansas City. Because I don't see why he would come to Houston with Bill O'Brien. I get Deshaun Watson, I get Hopkins. But why would he come to Houston with Bill O'Brien and then knowing that he's at the very least the 3rd receiver? So you have to make him the number 2. And I'm not comfortable with making him the number 2. I'm not comfortable making him number 3 because you got Kenny Stills, the forgotten guy. People tend to forget that we have number 12 on this field. And part of the reason why is because when Fuller's not there, they don't use Kenny Stills in the proper way. They don't use Kenny Stills in the proper way at all. But at least when Fuller's on the field, Kenny Steele's coverage is his coverage gets way easier, and that's the reason why he has the two touchdowns against the two touchdowns against the Titans, and then he had the touchdown in the AFC divisional round, and also why he was open against the Saints in the first game of the season because the attention that Will Fuller gets. Oh, also the touchdown against the Patriots because of the attention Will Fuller gets. So because of the attention Will Fuller gets and the attention that because Hop is just that dude, Steels gets to eat, and Steels is a good receiver in his own right. I think Steels is legitimate number two. I think Steels can go to any team and be a legitimate number two, a bona fide number two, and you have a measure number three. But we have Bill O'Brien as the head coach, and we'll see about Tim Kelly. I'm not sold on Tim Kelly. I don't have really high hopes, but we'll see. Hopefully, I'm wrong. But like I say, it's not the personnel. So stop trying to fix the personnel. Now, if you tell me you want to upgrade running back, I'll listen to that conversation. Even though I'm good with Carlos Hyde, you probably won't want to draft a running back, but I'm good with Carlos Hyde being here. You don't have to sign a Melvin Gordon and things like that because I've heard that name thrown around too. But you don't have to go after Sammy Watkins because I don't see it happening for one. Because the only way I'm cool with that is if he's coming in to be the fourth receiver. He's not doing it. Because I don't think he's better than Steels. He's not better than Steels or Will Fuller. So there's no reason for him to be here unless you're going to make him the two, and I'm not comfortable with making him the two. And he's not going to come in unless he's the two. If that's the case, he'll stay in Kansas City where he's the second receiver and the third option. So he'll take a pay cut to stay in Kansas City and take a pay cut to come to Houston, unless you're going to give him like a significant amount of money, and I'm not cool with that because he's not the better option. No, like I said, I get what Hop and Deshaun trying to do. They Clemson guy, they boy, they looking out for their boy. I get that they probably want to play with their boy, cool, but nah, it's this offense from a personnel standpoint is fine. It doesn't need to be messed with. It doesn't. It's a legitimate offense from a personnel standpoint. The problem with the offense is the philosophy and the game plan, and we will see with a new guy calling plays if that would change. We'll see this coming up season, but nah, like I'm not like so everybody keep on trying to replace Will Fuller with Sammy Watkins. Nah, like I'm not. That's a no go for me. That's for me. It's a dub. It's a no go. I'm not with that. Unless you like I said, unless you're adding him onto the receiving core as is and you get rid of Kiki, but I don't see him taking that. I don't see him doing that. I don't see him coming here unless he's the number two receiver. And then I still think he might not want to do that because I think he's just like I can see him. You know what? I know my role in Kansas City. I'm with Andy Reid. I'm with Mahomes. I'm good where I'm at. Unless somebody's willing to give him a whole bunch of money to be the number one. Now, of course, he's going to take that challenge because the money and then another opportunity. But I don't think he deserves the opportunity because he's shown what he is. On two occasions when he was supposed to be the number one receiver in Buffalo and in LA, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And you could say all you want to look at the quarterbacks. Okay, he had a legitimate quarterback for the past 2 years. Look at his production. It's not that good. Actually, production is worse. His production is worse. Now, you could say it's because of options, but Tyreek Hill missed like 5-6 games last year. He still only had 3 touchdowns in the first game. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was the first half. Well, yeah, it was the first half, and it might have been all in the first quarter. I know he had 2 touchdowns in the first quarter of the Jacksonville game, in the first game of the season. So you scored 3 touchdowns in the first half of football. You ain't scored no more the rest of the way. 15 more games. You couldn't get 1 more touchdown? Really? 1 more touchdown. You couldn't get 1 more. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Comment below if you haven't. Click that bell to get more videos. I holla.